You know, the last thing I was expecting my first video of 2024 to be about SMG4 of all YouTube channels. But I don't know, I think I've been doing a little too much. That it has brain rotted my brain into making this video that I am both not okay with doing, but yet somehow kind of am okay with? I don't know, honestly. I'm just as confused as you are as to why I'm making this video, but you know what? Yeah, we're here anyway, so we might as well just do it. So let's do it.
That's so nice.
Hello and welcome to today's broadcast, where today we're going to be talking about how I used to hate a certain animated series, but then somehow out of nowhere became a huge fan of them at the end of me binging their videos. And that animated series is SMG4. Now, for the 0.1% of you that do not know what SMG4 is, the best way to describe them is... Wait, how do you describe them? SMG4, originally Super Mario 64 bloopers, is an Australian adult computer animated science fantasy machinima situation comedy web series. Try saying that 5 times fast. Created by Luke Lerdwichigal, appearing on the SMG4 YouTube channel. If you've ever wondered what would happen if Nintendo took a wild ride through the depths of internet culture and emerged on a meme field trip, then SMG4 is exactly what you're in for. But while the fun and memes roll in, the absurdity might just spiral into dire consequences, threatening to change their lives permanently. No matter how bad things get though, the gang always finds a way out, sometimes by the skin of their teeth, and other times by fully embracing the chaos in the most meme-filled way possible. Yeah, that's a perfect description of what SMG4 is like. Okay, so to start out this video, I need to get something off of my chest real quick. When I Bill Nye. When I saw one of their videos for the very first time, my first impression of them was, oh, it's just one of those stupid meme brain rot channels for kids that insert every single meme imaginable thinking that it's quote-unquote funny and will keep the attention of the iPad kids. Now, obviously looking back, Now, obviously looking back, that was just plain wrong. That was just plain wrong for me to think that. But at the same time, I don't blame past me for thinking this way either. I mean, my first video of theirs I've ever seen was a random screen share on Discord of the KFC episode. To which when I looked at that screen share, I saw this.
Harder, Daddy.
Yeah, not the best first impression, not gonna lie. But then fast forward a couple months later after that original incident, and something weird happened. Something that's a little, I don't know, puzzling, if you will. The Puzzle Vision movie had just came out during this time, and my best friend in the entire world, FNAF Nico, hated it! So much so that, true story by the way, he got in a private Discord call with me, and then for an hour and a half straight, let me repeat that, for an hour and a half straight, double the length time of the Puzzle Vision movie, ranted for about why he hated the Puzzle Vision movie so much. Which, to this day, I still cannot believe he has done this, but you know what? Kudos to you. Kudos to you, Nico. But holy shit, am I scared of you now. However, I have to give him credit where credit is due because, in a weird way, by him doing this, it had the unusual effect of laying down the framework for my interest in SMG4 later on. I mean, come on, if you hear someone rant about something they are so passionate about for over an hour and a half, you are going to take notice, no matter what. you are going to take notice of this, whether intentional or not. But that leads us now to today, where me and Nico have a little deal going on, where if I showed him something that I personally loved, he would then show me something that he loves in return. Which for me personally, I had just showed him Dead End Paranormal Park, which is fantastic by the way, and I highly recommend it if you have even considered watching it yet. It's really good. And Nico decided to, you know what, let's show him an SMG4 arc as trade-off. Which, not gonna lie, I was hesitant to go into since that, but after a lot of convincing, and I mean a lot of god convincing, I decided, you know what? Okay, maybe I was wrong, and it couldn't hurt to at least try to. Plus, I get to hang out with my best friend in the entire world, so that's always a plus, no matter what. And I did it. I watched SMG4 with Nico. And I watched. And I watched. And I watched. And oh my god, I get it. I get it. I get it. Oh my god, dude, holy shit, I get it. Yeah. After binging the series with Nico, I may have slightly became a fan of SMG4 and have actively held it back to buy the Leggy plush as we speak. But despite all of that, I had to ask, how? How did I go from thinking it was a brain rot meme kid channel with no substance to him whatsoever to now actively laughing my ass off now at so many of their videos? I mean, I actively hated upon SMG4 and did not understand how my friends could have loved their content in the first place. I just did not get it whatsoever. So then how the f did I come out at the very end loving them? I am honestly very confused on how I got here. Well, that, my fellow hydranters, is what I came to answer, and hopefully by doing so, maybe you'll also give SMG4 a chance. Who knows? You never really know until you find out. With all of that, my name is Super, and you are watching SuperChaoticToonz. When I first started watching SMG4 with Nico, the main stuff that he was showing me to get invested was the arcs. Specifically, all the arcs that happened before the Nintendo lawsuit arc. And while all of them were honestly good in their own way, I will say the ones that really got me invested in SMG4 as I continued watching were the Bob Rapper arc, the anime arc, and the Genesis arc. With the Bob Rapper arc, it showed me that they were taking their storytelling more seriously than I was expecting. It instantly made Boopkins my favorite character up to that point. The anime arc showed me the same point as before, but also that they were willing to take risks and potentially killing off their main characters to add more tension and fear as I continued watching them. Which, not gonna lie, I very much appreciated about early SMG4 and kinda wish that they brought back with the new era, not gonna lie. Come on, you f***ing cowards, do it! Kill off a main character for the hell of it! Why not? It would not only be amusing, but very entertaining. And then the Genesis arc. Oh my lord, the Genesis arc. This one I feel like just expanded and grounded the world and characters more than ever before, along with upping the animation into something much more than just a silly gmod and N64 meme channel. And plus it made SMG4 and 3 a lot more than just Inter Mario OCs in my mind, which is always great. But honestly, all of the arcs in one way, shape, or form made me realize that, maybe what I thought was a meme brain rot channel for kids was actually something more than that. Maybe, just maybe, it was a meme brain rot channel to an extent, but yet there's something else to it. Like a secret formula that you can tell is there, but you don't know fully how to describe it yet. From the world of this weird mishmash of both stupidity but also real life, to the dumb but somehow cool animation style that could only come from gmod. And the best part about it all, in my opinion, is the characters. For the most part, this is a character-driven show that gets you to care about and like every single one of those characters, no matter what. To the zero IQ but still likable Mario, to the badass squid that's always there to help out, aka Meggy, and especially the lovable weeb with a good heart that just wants to help spread love and positivity no matter what, and he's just adorable and just Can you tell Boopkins is my favorite character? In general though, these arcs showed me that there is a soul behind these videos, and that it's not just me brain rot made to make kids go on their mother's iPad. And while I may not have loved them just yet, I could at least kinda understand why Nico enjoyed them, and I didn't hate my time watching them. Which hey, is progress from what I originally hated them, so that's good at least. But obviously, if I ever was going to start loving their content, I need to see the more recent stuff they had in store. Especially with the introduction to a new castle, a new models, and... Oh god, what the f did you do to my boy? Burn it in fire, please! Holy shit! All of that, of course, leads up to... yes. Now it's time to talk about the movies of SMG4. Now, obviously, it would be a shame to me not to mention that they did make movies before the Nintendo lawsuit arc. But honestly, in my opinion, the pre-Nintendo lawsuit arc movies weren't really quote-unquote movies per se. They were more or less just extended episodes of SMG4. And god damn it, Garage, why do you have to open up now? Which, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed them for what they were. But when I'm talking about the movies of SMG4, I more specifically want to talk about the movies that came after the Nintendo lawsuit arc. More specifically, It's Gotta Be Perfect, Western Spaghetti, and Puzzle Vision, respectively. I want to talk about these three in particular because, in my opinion, in one way, shape, or form, they are the movies that shaped SMG4 into what it is today. Here, let me explain. With It's Gotta Be Perfect, it put the final nail into the coffin of saying, yeah, that era is now over and welcome to the new era. With getting rid of Princess Peach's castle. Holy shit, they got rid of an entire castle. With Western Spaghetti, however, it has brought in more of a cinematic approach through their channel, while also having some of the biggest emotional story beats, both scary and heart-wrenching, in one movie. And then Puzzle Vision, aka the movie that my best friend went on an hour and a half rant on, double the length of the movie still, by the way, where I'm gonna be honest, yeah, sorry, Nico. But oh my god, this movie has to be my favorite movie out of all the movies SMG4 has created. Not only because this movie is one of the most fun movie watches I've had in a long while, but come on, man, Mr. Puzzles is single-handedly my favorite villain SMG4 has ever given us. And plus, his villain song is fantastic. It's up there with Other Side and Bickering. I mean, it's clear as day that they stepped up their game in every possible way with these movies. And by doing so, it crossed over with the rest of their stuff, and it makes it all seem much more cool and unique to me. The animations feel smoother while still keeping that classic gmod style and aesthetic to them. The character models, besides for the Mike Wazowski mistake from society, feel a lot more polished and cartoony, which for someone who loves and prefers cartoony models was a very much welcome change. The new Showgrounds castle feels a lot more homey and it's just like, yeah, this is where they live. This is our home base for our main characters to hang out and have adventures in. However you want to describe that as. It's just good, okay? It's just good. And I know I already mentioned Mr. Puzzles, but oh man, him, One Shot Ren, and hell, even Marty have been some of the best villains SMG4 has given us. Minus SMG0, of course. And overall, as I continued watching SMG4, the movies I felt like is when SMG4 really started to have its own unique identity. Because with their past stuff, it was cool, don't get me wrong. It was still hard for me to see it as something more than just a brain rot meme channel outside of the arcs. I know it was stupid for me to think that, but that's just how I felt. But with their newer stuff, it feels like I'm watching an original animated show, with the IP characters and the brain rot memes thrown in as an added layer instead of being the main cream of the crop. You still have those episodes here and there, but they're not the main focus anymore, which I'm gonna be real with you here. I'm not really a big Nintendo fan anyway. I just play games like Mario Kart and stuff on my Nintendo Switch Lite just so I can hang out with my friends. So seeing all of these new changers, I very much preferred newer SMG4 to older SMG4 because of it. And as such, I wasn't just someone who liked SMG4 anymore. I was starting to actually become a pretty big fan of them, which I honestly never would have guessed after my bad experience with the KFC episode, Catastrophe. But here we are. However, and there's always a however, despite everything, we need to come together for a moment because I still didn't really understand why some of my friends like Nico and John, who are some of the biggest SMG4 fans I know of, love this series. I did not understand why someone would be a fan of them. Hell, I became one. But in my head, the notion of, oh, it's still a brain rot meme channel was still kind of bothering me in my head a little bit. Why so? I don't fucking know, dude. My neurodivergent brain works in weird and mysterious ways, alright? Don't question it! However, there was one last thing that I needed to watch before I could end my whole SMG4 bitch journey. And that, my fellow hydrators, is... Wait, why am I getting a message from Nico? Oh, a new SMG4 video update. I gotta go watch it! Alright, now where was I? Oh right, I was gonna talk about the... Obviously, their past stuff with the arcs, the movies, etc. have all been great. They are, in one way, shape, or form, what takes SMG4 from just a brain rot meme channel and elevate it into a whole new level. However, I also wouldn't say that I fully understood yet either, and still had some work to do before I loved SMG4. This takes us to, right now, with what SMG4 is mainly known for, aka the Mario Does Blank, the SMG4 crew, Mario Plays, etc. Or as I personally like to call them, the Saturday morning cartoons since, well, they upload on Saturdays. At least where I live in America. Which, if you're someone who's first getting into SMG4, it doesn't really have a best friend that knows exactly what they need to show you to get you invested in the first place, this is what you're most likely going to start watching with, and in between all the more serious stuff. And that is exactly what I did. While I was watching the arcs and movies with Nico, and sometimes with another good friend of mine, John, I would just watch the Saturday morning cartoons to keep me filled up while I waited in anticipation to watch the more serious stuff. And as I was watching the Saturday morning cartoons, something clicked. And I finally understood what SMG4 as a whole is, and what it was basically the entire time, honestly. But to explain it, I think I need to say something that may shock you a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I don't know if you're gonna take me seriously when I say this or think that I'm a complete joke once I say it. But in my honest opinion, the main SMG4 videos / Saturday morning cartoons are stupid. What? Like, come on. Let's be honest here. They are some of the dumbest, weirdest, downright batshit, insane animations and concepts I have ever seen released onto this website. Like, come on, dude. You cannot tell me that Mario gets his penis stuck in the door. Is something that a quote-unquote normal person would just make up in their head and upload. Like, come on, you can't tell me that. You just can't. Yet somehow, in some reverse psychology, it is for this reason that me and multiple others I know around me love SMG4 for and why they're so much fun to watch. Alright, just warning you right now, I'm about to go into rant territory, so bear with me. In a day and age where it feels like multiple people are now optimizing for the quote-unquote algorithm to make the best video as humanly possible to get the most amount of views, it can get pretty tiring, not gonna lie. When you see one of them, it feels like you've seen all of them after a while, and they feel like it's just like one big corporate slog that just keeps turning and turning it out in order to appease the algorithm and all that blah blah blah. Obviously, of course, there are exceptions to this, but it's pretty rare to find them nowadays, and if you cannot find them at all, you're gonna be stuck with the multi-million subscribed channels that keep turning into I do this or I do that slog over and over and over again, and it almost in a way kind of takes away the fun of YouTube to an extent, which at least for me personally, I don't like now, like, realizing this, but hey, if that's what the platform wants, I guess it's what they want. But I think because of that as well, it's also created this wave of genuine creativity while still optimizing in one way, shape, or form, myself included. But because of this new wave, creators are now allowing themselves to be themselves and make it how they see it without restrictions whatsoever, which as someone that doesn't like creativity to be limited, I am a huge fan of. And SMG4, in that case, to an extent, feels like that's always been the case since the very beginning. I mean, I'll say it right here, right now. I was wrong to think that this was just a brain rot meme channel for kids, because after watching their videos a lot more, that's clearly not the case at all. And I really wish I did give them more of a chance looking back. And I'll honestly start watching their videos much sooner. Because SMG4 as a whole still does feel like that stupid anime meme brought channel to an extent still. But now, after watching all the arcs and movies, and like 20% of the SMG4 main channel / Saturday morning cartoon videos, I can now see that it's one that has clear passion and love put into it that doesn't limit themselves with what they want to do. They want to make a character watch memes and make jokes along the way? Done. They want to make a character work at a fast food restaurant that will not be named because of copyright reasons? Done. They want to make a character create an OC that then becomes a villain and wants to steal the other character's notebook and have to run a spy throw in order to get it back? Well, as crazy as it sounds, done. Like, there is no limit to what they could do because it's YouTube. Compared to other websites / services, if you want to do all of that, you have to get the approval from big executives to go through the hell of legal blah 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 to get it made, which for some that's worth it and that's perfectly fine. But to me, as someone that hates limited creativity no matter what, in hopes that any creative person will be able to release all of their creativity out into the world, because with more creativity leads to much cooler being made, yeah, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of doing this. Obviously, of course, it's there for a reason and has worked for many years, but for me personally, as someone who again is a very creative person, I am still not very much a big fan of. However, with YouTube, that's not an issue at all because it's what you want, not what the executives want, what you want, because it's you too. Oh my god, the name of YouTube exists for a reason! And I think it's because of that I now fully understand and love SMG4 for that very reason. Because to me, it's an animated series that can only come from YouTube and not in any way, shape, or form from a traditional TV network. Again, because it's on YouTube, they can go balls to the walls with the memes, the episode concepts, and even reference other media without the original creators breathing down their throat too much. Well, besides obviously from Nintendo, but that's besides the point. Because again, it's you too. And that to me is what makes SMG4 so special, and in a way, what makes me love watching their stuff. SMG4 is a channel where you can laugh about the silly little memes and silly little adventures they go on and forget about your horrible day at work. SMG4 is a channel where you can tell genuine stories that move people in ways that no other YouTube channel on this platform, at least for me personally, has done. And most importantly, SMG4 is a channel where genuine creativity, fun, and passion can all thrive within this silly quote-unquote meme channel, but do something that some YouTube channels I feel like forget, but yet they've done this for so many years that I can't help but appreciate and adore much more than I ever could have before, honestly. And just, yeah, I love it now. I wished I watched this channel sooner. Like, to stop all the movements here for a second, I just wish I watched SMG4 sooner and just gave them a chance. And I hope that by me making this, you will now potentially give them a chance as well. So we can encourage more memes, slaps, and creative people for years to come. Because if we do that and continue supporting these creators that create these stories and create these funny ass videos on the platform, then I think the future may be a bit more brighter than we originally thought. Or who knows, maybe the entire website is gonna go to shit, and then genuine creativity is going to die, like that plane crashing towards me right now. Oh god, what the fuck? Ba 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 ba